Kitty, I just looked at when we spoke last.
Yeah.
And it was September of 2024.
Oh my God.
So, what has happened since September of 2024?
Oh wow. A lot. Holy crap. September of 2024, I figured out I was pregnant. Yeah, and so I went through that of honestly going through the trials and tribulations of substance abuse, and then trying to figure out, will the father be there for me? Learned he was an unreliable guy, and then trying to, get myself into treatment. I went to treatment first. I left early. Then I went to treatment again. I promised them I would be back. I ended up getting really sick in the hospital. This would have been like right after Christmas. And I was throwing up bad. I was having really bad DTs. And so they hospitalized me in First Hill. The nurse lost my glasses, so that was fun. But then they brought me up to the 5th floor, and they were taking care of me for a few days, and I met Dr. Rudolph, who's a part of the ARS SUPS program. It used to be called CUPS. It's for pregnant women that go through substance abuse and then need, some kind of treatment program. And it's honestly that program, I know it saved my life. If it wasn't for Dr. Rudolph, I wouldn't be here today taking the medication that I'm taking and knowing that I need to stay on a stable path. And I can't fuck around, I can't be messing around anymore. I'm going to be a mom soon. So.
Well, we were just talking a second ago.
Yeah, I am a mom.
Matter of location. Baby.
Yeah, baby's here. Baby's not here yet, but
That's right.
We're just so close yet so far away. But yeah, so turned out it's a baby boy, which I'm happy. I wanted a boy. So thank you. Honestly, I always wanted to be a mom.
Oh, good.
So it was really like a blessing from God, and really a blessing from just the whole situation in general. I mean, I told myself I needed to stop. I had started my drug use because of the fact my Nana passed away, and then, my crazy Pacific Northwestern Southern family is what I call them, but then their whole drama in life, and it was just all these things were building up. And so then it just made me snap, and I switched my drinking to using. And so then I just kept, I would do things that the normal me would never freaking do to my friends, never do to my family, never do to people that I love. Yet I would do them. Why? Because it was for the dope, which is fine. Everybody goes through their own hard struggles. Whenever you meet someone who's substance using or going through substance use, support them and just love them.
Because they're coping.
Yeah.
With something.
Yeah.
Like we all do.
Exactly. It's hard. It's hard. Because life in today and this age is stressful. It's stressful to cope. And then COVID was really a big one that hit everybody. But so going through that in the hospital, Rudolph tried to get me in the SUPS program sooner, and then I was like, oh, I need to get my family heirlooms and stuff, and I tried going to Tent City. That was complicated.
Well, this whole time, tell me about your housing situation.
Oh,
or
yeah.
lack thereof. I'm not sure.
So I tried living with the father, and he's DV, so that was really fun. He's really controlling and crazy, really. I mean, he stalked me a couple times. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get when he's being overline and being disrespectful. And I tried giving him a chance because I never had my biological father in my life. So I'm thinking, I need my dad, my son needs his dad. And really, I mean, father or a father figure, there could be somebody or a male influence in his life that could be an actual responsible, loving, caring person, or his father that really didn't care for his son before this one. So is he going to care for this one? No, not really. He does what he does. So if he's going to continue doing what he does, okay, do you, boo. I can't stop you, but I know that you're not going to be a father. So I tried multiple times. There would just be a point where I couldn't stay there, and then I ended up being homeless. And then not even before that, how I got homeless in the first place was being illegally evicted from my boat that my partner and I were staying at. And so now I've been staying either in his truck somehow, or we try and figure out how to get motel rooms, whether I have to ask people for money or whether I have a little bit of TANF money to pay for something, or it gets hard. But I've been going through loops just trying to find housing. It's been hard. It's been a struggle because it's like, you know, there was a whole bunch of services, and here I am pregnant. You'd think I'd get housed up like that, but no.
Today's February 20th.
Yeah.
And your due date is?
April 12th. That's like tomorrow.
That's going to come fast.
Yeah. I mean, it's already almost the end of February. It is, basically. So I got some time, but I don't have a lot of time. And that's the thing, is I want to make sure when I have my son at Swedish and they give me that 5-day compassion stay, I want to make sure in that moment when that CPS worker walks in and says, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, you know, what's your plan? What's your deal? What's going on?" Because, you know, it's bound to happen. Their job is to make sure that the kid goes to a loving, safe, good home with a roof above their head, a place where they can eat, a place where they can be safe. And if I can't provide that, it makes me feel like I'm failing as a mother, you know? And I have to remind myself that I'm not failing as a mother because I'm trying everything that I can. You know, I didn't plan having this baby, you know, I was still doing drugs when I realized, oh, I'm pregnant. And so I knew I had to do the right thing, and I had to get myself clean. And it took 2 tries, but eventually, you know, I ended up relapsing in January, and then at the end of the month, a guy was trying, he didn't understand the whole pregnant women when they have to use thing, and to be able to not physically stress with the baby till you're able to switch over to a medication. And so then I started going through bad TTs again, and then I had to go into Everett Providence Swedish, and then they transferred me back to Ballard again. And honestly, that ARS team is the best. They are the best for detox, for the program, everything. I've learned so much about just like simple things when it comes to lactation, or when it comes to, you know, the signs of when your baby just is crying for the sake of crying, or, you know, how to determine if your baby is possibly going through withdrawal, or the process is called eat, sleep, console, you know, to eat. Is the baby eating? Is the baby being able to sleep? Is the baby being able to be consoled? If so, then the baby's fine. Baby can go home, you know? And learning a lot of different like great things on how babies have great communication, and how they're a lot smarter than, you know, doctors used to say. They used to think they were blobs that had no emotion and couldn't sense anything, and they're not going to remember any of it anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? Well, they might not remember, but it does engrave in their mind and in their body, you know? So I've learned a lot from that program, and like even using one of those wraps and everything. I mean, like the whole bit. So if it wasn't for learning that knowledge, giving that knowledge to be prepared to step out into the world being a mother, and then also being a mother that's experienced substance use, and knowing that you're taking the next steps and you're trying to do what's best for you and your child. And that's the beautiful thing, is that they really want to help you, and they really want to help your baby. And I mean, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't know my son has a rare heart condition, so I know how to take on it.
That, right?
Yeah, and he has a couple of things that are rare. He has VSD and then double aortic arc. It's like 2 tubes. Typically, I guess when babies are smaller, they have 2. And then as they get bigger, it goes to the 1 that connects to the lungs. Well, he still has the 2. So they have to do surgery within the first year of his life. So it's kind of scary, you know, because it's like, oh, but at the same time, it could have happened to anybody. And so I just thank God that his heart rate, every time I listen to it, it's always perfect.
And we were talking earlier, I mean, I'm so glad this day and age, they found it. They found that.
Yeah.
And can do something about it.
Yeah, if it wasn't for modern day technology, like, and the fact that I live here, I love that I live here. I mean, for crying out loud, there's even a show about our medical system here, Grey's Anatomy. I mean, come on. So I'm pretty lucky.
Never.
Excuse me. I'm pretty lucky that I'm here. Oops. But yeah, if it wasn't for modern day technology and the team really wanting to make sure they take care of me and baby, like I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So I'm thankful.
Something as a dad of daughters, something stuck out to me of just you were saying when you have your son, like this thought of CPS showing up.
Oh yeah.
Like, what does that feel like? That sounds terrifying to me.
It's scary because no matter what, even if you're clean, like for an example, there could be two scenarios. Let's say you're clean and your son comes out, no withdrawals, no nothing, or your baby comes out with no withdrawals, no nothing, baby's fine, eat, sleep, console, everything's great, but they're still on that record that you have gone through substance abuse and substance use. And so you say you're clean, you're sober, you're taking your medication. It's little things like, they give pain meds for moms that are in labor. Labor is painful, okay? And when we need the medication, we have the right to get those medications. Substance abuse in the past or not. And they'll do little things like, oh, well, we found fentanyl in your urine. Well, they actually give you prescription IV fentanyl for pain relief. That's just, it's a good pain reliever to use for intense pain. And it's like, well, do you think while I'm in labor, I'm going to pee in a cup right before? I mean, that's what I was advised to do that, to, be able to do urine sample before and after.
Just to prove and
say, look, I've been taking my medication. Look, it's not in my system. Right. And then look, after I took the medication, it's in my system. Yeah. And there could be that scenario, or even if the scenario of your child is going through withdrawal, but you're clean and sober, and it's just that you happen to use in your pregnancy, whether it was a little bit or whether it was a majority, doesn't matter. There's still, well, you have been going through substance abuse or substance use, your baby's going through withdrawal, so they're going to hammer you on every little thing. And then that's when they start interviewing people that may have a good relationship with you or a bad relationship with you. But, learning the steps on reminding them, hey, I have outpatient. I go here for my outpatient. Hey, I go to AA. Hey, I'm doing this. Here's my advocacy team that can advocate for me. Here's my medical team that can advocate for me. Here are all the people that will back me up that I'm doing the right thing and the right steps. You got to create that team.
Yeah.
And
support system.
Yeah.
And on one hand, I hear CPS, it's like that's there for a reason and a good reason, because there's a lot of kids that, but at the same time, it's like, I'm hoping, and I hope they work with you together.
Yeah.
And like you said, here's my support system, here's where I'm at, here's the road I'm on, and I'm going to keep going down this way. And you and your son are together and happy and successful.
Oh, yeah. And the scariest thing, I mean, it's more traumatic to have somebody take away the family than to keep the family together. And it's more traumatic and it's more intense. And, sometimes you have to just pray to God that that CPS worker is not angry or having a two that day and just decides to pick a bone only specifically with you. And not only that, but some hospitals do mandatory reporting. And in fact, most, if not all of them do. So you have to remember that as well. So it's like that heartbeat feeling of oh, this is scary. And all while you just gave birth. Yeah. And you're tired, exhausted.
On top of that.
Oh my goodness, and you got nurses coming in and out, you got doctors coming in and out, and then you got a CPS worker coming in and out. It's like, oh, so you're going to ask me this while I just had my baby,
Well, I hope they give you space to
Yeah.
like enjoy, bond,
Oh yeah.
all that stuff.
And that's the thing I'm going to be adamant about is that skin to skin.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, they're going to want to do the echo, I think, right away because they're not like the specialists that I went to see in children's. But it'll be like, no, he told me the skin to skin is important. Like,
Oh, yeah.
have that bond. Yeah. Like, give it that hour, then go do the echo. But right now, this moment between, mother
Right.
and baby is important
Yeah.
because those moments, I mean, the baby starts heating up, starts getting warm, starts that's okay. Starts getting warmer when they're closer to your chest.
Yeah.
I mean, those are important moments.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to take the baby away and then put them in a heater, they used to do that. It's crazy. Back in the day in the 50s, they would take the baby literally away immediately from the mother, cut the umbilical cord like that, not even wait a minute, and then just take the baby away. And put them in the NICU.
Yeah.
And you're going, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, that baby needs to be with mom. Because they thought they were blobs that felt no emotion.
Well, I'm curious. Let's talk about right now,
Yeah.
like your current situation. Like, where are you staying tonight?
Heck if I know. I'm going to try and see if I can come up with some funds to stay in a motel room or something. I mean, I'm waiting for a list to see if I can get in a shelter. I don't know. And then not only that, but then to be able to get in a shelter with my partner and I. What's funny is there were places for couples, but if it's a pregnant couple, it's a different story. Well, because I would be classified as a family. So, and a lot of families, all the places are apparently just booked up.
Right now, especially in like dead of winter.
Oh yeah, it's freezing cold, man. So, really, I'm lucky that I know somebody who works at a motel room. He's a longtime friend of mine, and he's the night manager. He might be able to do a discounted rate for the evening, and they've known us there for a while. But I mean, you can only go so far with like a little bit of money from TANF, and I'm going to see if I even have enough money on TANF. But if not, sometimes you have to do the embarrassing thing of going up to strangers and asking them for help. Because, I am not going to afford myself staying outside again another night. I mean, even if it's a tent, okay, it's a little better, but that's not indoors. I mean, I'm pregnant, you shouldn't be able to have to stress when you're pregnant. You should be able to be happy and relax, and remember to have that daily bond moment where, you sing to your baby or, you play music or talk to him. And at least while I was in the hospital, I was able to do that. But when you don't have a place to stay every day,
your nervous system is you're on high alert of,
Yeah.
I need to find just a place to lay my head.
Yeah, that's been my whole focus. I mean, that's like, as soon as that is a thing, then I can go, okay,
Let down.
this is better now.
Yeah.
I can relax a little bit, But for right now, I mean, I'm lucky I was able to at least get involved in doing an intake for basically being in a waiting list for something.
Right.
And just come here every Thursday and see if there's something. But then again,
We talked about Mary's Place. Why
Yeah.
did that come up again?
So far, nothing. I just called their shelter intake line, and they didn't have anything available, unfortunately. But the woman keeps remembering me every time I call because my name is so unique.
Yeah.
So she remembers me at least.
Yeah.
But my goodness, that's Aurora.
Yes, we are on Aurora.
That's okay.
Yeah,
that's Aurora for you.
Part of it. Yeah.
Stuff happens.
Well,
whatever.
Tell me about the Commons. How long have you been coming here?
I've been coming here for about. Well, I was hanging out in Ballard for a little while, and I kind of go from place to place. I migrate.
And that's where we met.
Yeah.
And then then I saw you again here.
Yeah. So when did I start coming here more? I would honestly say like last summer is when I started coming here more, because I was more closer to the area. Because there'd be a situation where like get into a fight, or the father would do something aggressive, abusive. I don't even know what. And to me, it was like, at this point, it's easier to be homeless than to live with you because you were psychotic, you were crazy. And so I would come out here and I would be like, oh yeah, the Commons is open. So then I'd come here for food or like coffee or whatever. And I mean, they've helped me out with a phone in the past. Of course, that phone got stolen, but of course, steal from the pregnant woman. But anyways, so then I started coming here more and more frequently, and they've always been really nice to me. I've never had an issue with everybody. It's so funny. You can even be gone for like a month or something and come back, and still the staff is like, oh hey Kitty, what's up, how you doing, a long time no see. Like, it's so funny how they all remember your name, and it's just like going back to like almost like a family like place in a sense, because it's like, oh nice, people that know me regularly, that I can, it's a reminder of those check-in moments. It's a reminder that people check in and still care. And the Commons has always been one of those places for me. Even if there's characters here, there's always going to be characters. I mean, everywhere you go.
Yeah, that's right.
But still, I don't judge those characters because most of them happen to be my acquaintances or friends, And I know that I'm at least safe here and I'm comfortable here because I know there's good people here. Good food, good people. They have the best breakfast burritos. And I mean, they've always been there to help as best as they can. How many times have been able to help me out with clothes? How many times have been able to help me out with hygiene stuff? Even just a bathroom to use, decent coffee. At least to be in a place for a while. Wish, they were open a little longer, but I get it. They already do so much within those 4 days being open a week that I'm thankful that they're at least open 4 days a week.
Right.
So I've been coming here for a while, since last summer.
Right on. Well, what do you want? What do you see? Your ideal situation with you and your son.
I see some kind of place that's just, whether it's an apartment or a house or something, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how my roof is or where the roof is, but as long as I know I can be inside somewhere warm and I can listen to music and look out the window in rain and know, oh cool, I don't I can rock my baby to sleep and know I don't have to be out there today, and I can focus on being able to, once he gets less crying and more, more tolerable, then I can start focusing on my high school diploma. I could start finally focusing on those things. I've thought about maybe getting a beauty license and start doing dreadlocks for a side hobby, because people always ask me, oh yeah, your dreads are always nice. Do you do dreads? And it's like, yeah, sure. I mean, it's easy. It's not that hard.
I hear goals and dreams.
Yeah, and start making my own products and my own essential oils and stuff. Yeah. And like, and it would be an at-home job. It would be easy because I'd have my kid there, and then I just have my customers come to me kind of thing, and be able to figure out my own something. But to know that I can look outside on a snowy day, on a rainy day, even on a sunny day or on a hot day, and I can turn on like my AC or whatever and know, hey, I have my own little cubicle that's protected and safe, and finally, like, we made it. Like, yes, we made it.
I love that.
We made it.
I imagine here's where I cut the scene to that scenario.
Yeah.
In 6 months to a year, or whatever it is. One last question that I asked before that I'll ask again. Kitty, is there anything that you'd want the people of Seattle to know?
What would I want Seattle to know? That's a good question. Last time I was so eager to answer it, and this time, like, there's so many things. I mean, my mind just sees all kinds of different experiences that I've gone through that I wish other people would see. But I think the most would be when somebody is going through substance use or substance abuse and you want to judge them, as much as you want to criticize them, just know that they are a human still and they're still suffering. And when they're still suffering, that means that they need help. And help doesn't mean criticize and say, grow up and get a job, or, why do you keep doing the same thing? I kept doing the same thing because I was in pain and I didn't know how to mourn loss. I didn't know how to deal with and cope with society. and I didn't want to deal with my emotions. My emotions I thought were my enemy. I hated them because they were the real me. Most people who do drugs aren't comfortable with themselves. So realize when you know yourself and you're comfortable with yourself, that person isn't. And so to just even be a person that smiles and says, have a good day, or I hope your day gets better, or even if you try and stop for a moment and think, instead of judging that person for what they're going through, maybe I should question myself, why does that make me angry? Why does that make me upset? Why am I wanting to, cuss this person out or say they're garbage or filth or something? Because I know, face it, your life has been completely different than that person's life maybe. I don't know. But as simple as the old saying goes, seriously, just don't judge a book by its cover. You don't know. You haven't read the book. But if you at least read a chapter or two, maybe you can get a sense of the book. You see what I mean? Maybe then you can start to understand, okay, let's try and make a solution. Let's try and figure out how to solve these problems instead of judge these problems, because there's a reason why they're there, Just simple people need help, like me. Simple people need help. And then once you see that, then you see people that are like me that end up blossoming and blooming. Like now I'm like, oh, my emotions are a lot, but it's okay because I need to express them, right? I need to cry. I need to laugh. I need to experience. And one day maybe that person will, experience. If you just be a positive influence. Don't judge a book by its cover, I think I would say that.
Beautifully put. One last before we wrap up. Tell me about your glasses.
Oh, okay. So, this is good old me, right? Okay, so when I was in the ER at Swedish, nothing against Swedish staff. Usually that ER is pretty good at First Hill, but that darn nurse lost my glasses, like legit, my prescription glasses. So when I was there, I couldn't see. I was like, I can't see. For like several days, I couldn't see the TV. And then finally, I looked through all my bags and stuff because I was weak and everything. I was like, oh, there's these glasses. Oh, yeah, I remember. So I found these in the dumpster. They're actually Chanel glasses. And I had these plastic pieces that were digging in my nose for the longest time. That's why I didn't want to wear them, because it would cut into my nose and then they were all red. It just hurt. So when I was at the subs program at the Swedish Ballard, and I was in the ARS, one of the nurses there, she was so awesome. She doctored my glasses for me and got me like little noses and like totally like screwed them in and fixed them for me. And so literally found Chanel glasses out of the dumpster, who would have thought, close enough to my prescription, and they're fixed by it's cool how like the community put my glasses together.
There we go. What a metaphor right there.
So yeah, literally the community put my glasses together.
Love it.
So they're my Chanel community glasses, and I like them. They work. I mean, I can see. So what are the odds?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time. How about a hug?
Oh yes, of course.
Fantastic. All the best. All the best.